Okay, I'm back. I hope you can find me again. My goodness, what a morning. I had difficulty having it take the stream in the beginning. And now, when I finally, someone kindly said that I had frozen, which I appreciate. And then I worked and worked to get back on. So apparently, we're back live. I'm talking about groundedness today. I'm not going to put anything in the chat, but if you're listening and you want to put something in the chat, I see it and I will ask questions or whatever. I'm just happy to be up again. So I was talking about how we have a mind, we have a body, and the mind we talk a lot about because that's what sets your vibration. That's what sets everything up. Just want to say hi to Karen. She found me again, and Karen Lee found me. Thank you, thank you. Oh, tell you, my patience with this is crazy. I didn't touch the table, nothing, and it didn't even want it to set up a stream at first thing. I was working here maybe 15 minutes before, but that's life. How do we deal with those? So I'm going to talk about being grounded because I find it so important. And sometimes I get really caught up with what's going on in my head that I forget to get myself back in my body. And there's several techniques that we can utilize. One of the simplest ones is if when you're getting kind of really caught up in all the mental activity is stop, take a breath and lower yourself into your rear end, your bottom, whatever you want to call it, in your chair. And then take the energy from that down into the bottoms of your feet and then down into the earth. And you will literally feel yourself come into your body so that your eyes line up with your eyes. So it's very often people appearing out here somewhere with their eyes. They're not in their body. They're not even in their eyes, really. And one of the things I find I notice when I'm out is I'll bang into walls or I miss the chair I'm going to sit on or, oh, I'm not in my body because I spent a lot of years not in my body as a kid. And I think if you've had any experience of being hit and or really traumatized in any way when you're young, their tendency is to not be in the physical form. But it's like, then I had to learn as an adult how to get myself in my body, breathe, which is really important, but using the breath to bring you down into the body. Now, there's other things that you can do, which is like top of your head here. Oh, isn't that the funny? Everything is always working one way or the other. Sorry, I have to put this on silent. Boy, I did forgot to do that. It's been an interesting morning, and I was so well prepared. Isn't that the way it works? Anyway, you can actually clean your own aura. I'm just going to change a little bit topic. You can actually clean your own aura, but you need to start up here because there's a point here. Remember the chakras? You got your crown chakra, then you have your soul star up here. You can start cleaning your aura by making your hand like rakes. And you slowly rake it out and clean it up because you'll be surprised how much you pick up from other people, your own situations when you're in them and you're upset. So we want that clean and clear. So using your hands as a little rake, you'll find it. You can feel the energy in your palms if you've got any awareness in your palms. How to activate your palms right in the middle. There's a chakra. We don't really talk about that too much, except for those of us that do hands-on healing, which I don't do too much of that anymore. But it's like you can activate that with your thumb in the middle of your palms. And those of you that do healing know that. You just rub your hands a little bit. Then you've got energy coming out of your hands. So then you can work on yourself, wherever you need to, when there's blockages. So it's like you're really getting everything aligned, but always remembering what you want to be is connected to the earth because your body is from the earth and it will go back to the earth one way or the other. So it's like, and then the spirit, that which is you in there, your soul, will trustingly transcend into somewhere else. We don't want to be stuck here. So anyway, one of the things that I learned very early was hands on your head. Just put your hands on your head, on your chest, on your tummy, on your hips, your knees, if you can get down there, ankles, and then feel the energy going on down through your feet. Because at the bottom of your foot, if this is your foot, you also have a chakra there. We don't really talk about them, but they're there. And that you want open to be able to get the energy down into the earth. And then you're grounded and you'll find a difference. You know, I'm trying to think of the saying we used to say, because groups of us went through a lot of the same training way back when. Eyes in the eyes, hands in the hands, feet in the feet. Breathe. Oh, and your bum in your bum. That was something. So we went down our bum in your bum, down your chair, and then your knees, your feet, down into the earth, and you can feel it coming on in. You can feel yourself lower into it. So it's really about being aware, and because what'll happen if you're busy, you come up out of your body. When your mind gets racing or when you get all caught up in different things, you're just charging along like crazy. So it's like really important to be able to take a breath and lower yourself into your body. So again, this whole sense of eyes and eyes. I remember one of my friends, and I can't do that because I can't get, maybe I can kind of, no, it's too hard on the elbow. But I think I've got this on this side. She used to touch her eyes on either side like this a lot. And that was her signal, get grounded, be present, eyes in the eyes, hands in the hands, etc., hips in the hips, bum in the bum, feet on the ground, and the energy into the ground. So we want to be able to go, because I find when I don't really do this too often these days, but when I get excited or going, is that I kind of come out of my body. I'm in front of me almost. And that's when I've had accidents. That's when I've had things happen. Like, it's not a good way to drive, for instance. So it's like, again, when you get in the car, just take a breath, feel yourself sitting in the chair, your feet on the pedals, hands on the wheel, eyes in your eyes. Your eyes are here present. Being in the present, because really, when we go to look at our lives, when we go to make decisions, we need to do it from a present place, not from a upset place, harried place, which I was a few minutes ago because of that was the second or third time I was kicked out this morning. They must be very busy, I think. I've often had trouble when they're busy around this time on the morning. Maybe I should change the time, but I have noticed that several times. I've had time actually getting it done, getting the show up, getting the show to stay. And I think it's just because they have a lot of people at this time of the day doing stuff somewhere. After all, where I'm on the West Coast, and so we're behind everybody anyway. So it shouldn't be that busy, I wouldn't think. But anyway, it's just something I have to deal with, like today. If you have any questions of what I'm saying, put them in the comments, Karen or Karen Lee, please, because I'm trying to figure out, okay, what else? I'm missing something here. I know I'm missing something, but I can't remember what it is I'm missing. But I do know this, the importance of your palms above your head. Can you see the distance? In fact, if you want to know where that soul star chakra is, if you put I'm going to sink way down in my chair. If you put your hand up as high, make it like this, and then bring it down slowly. Whenever you're working with energy, always work slowly. Karen's asked, how often should you ground yourself? Whenever you don't feel grounded. So sometimes when you're learning that, it can be every half hour or so. But it's really about when you're driving or when you're getting emotional, just take a moment, take a breath, and ground yourself. Okay. So it's not really like you've got to be grounded. You will learn what it feels like to have your eyes on the eyes, because most of us are looking here rather than here. So it's just a matter of practice. Get it when you get up in the morning. Breathe, put yourself in your body, or whenever you'll learn it. You'll learn after a while. Oops, I'm too far out. just to come back down. And then everything falls into time. Everything flows. It flows when you're grounded. If life isn't flowing or you're feeling upset, that's a time to check. Where am I in my body? Where is my eyes in my eyes? That's the first key. Am my bum in my bum when I go to sit down? Am I here? Is my feet planted? Like, so you just kind of pull yourself back down a little bit. Now I'm losing track of what I was going to say. You can feel that soul star when you bring your hand down. You'll feel it on your palm. Now, one of the things that you may work with is your chakras in your palms of your hands. If you've done any healing work, they're probably really activated anyway. Just push them gently. You don't squeeze them too hard. Rub them a bit. You'll find healers will often do that when they sit down behind somebody. They just rub their hands gently. It's to activate the chakras that come through. So what we want is to make sure that we're where we're supposed to be, how we're supposed to be. And a lot of them, like I'm a bit of what I call a hands-on healer more. I like to kind of get into the body, little time contact. I have met phenomenal healers that never touch the physical body. They do it all through the aura. And yes, well, I used to do a lot of aura cleaning with students and clients and stuff, but I don't, since COVID, my life changed. And so I'm not out in the public as much. But so it's like knowing how and what and where. Now, let's talk about saying I'm doing this. I'm more moving into energy. Where is your aura? Number one, where is your aura? Some of us have auras that extend a long way. But you must remember, when you go into a crowded place, you don't need your aura all the way around there. You need it close to you. A foot, 18 inches, strong, where? Grounded you grounded, your feet grounded, you grounded in the earth. It doesn't need to be any bigger. I should not longer. The longest wind, bigger. It doesn't need to be way big. You're stronger if it's closer to you. So that's one thing we tend to do when we get into crowds. We tend to, expand into the crowd somehow, where in fact we need, for our own preservation, to come into more of ourselves. We bring that closer. We bring that in. So it's practice, actually. And if you feel that you're going into a situation and you feel strange, take a look around. I've told this story before, but I'll tell you it again because it's pertinent. I used to go into stores like that have large counters of jewelry and makeup and things like that. And sometimes I'd walk in and I'd go, there's been some shoplifting going on here. And I look around to see who it is. And then what I call clean up the thought form, because if I've picked the thought form up and someone else can. In fact, one of my years ago students phoned me one day and said, Norma, why would I be thinking of shoplifting? I've never shoplifted in my life, but I'm finding myself thinking about it. And I said, well, you're walking into the thought form. The thought form in these stores around certain counters are really, really strong. And if you're not paying diligence to how your thinking process is, you're going to have that come into you. And it's like, so I used to have great delight in figuring out when I would walk into these thought forms, who is that? Who's that? Find out, and then I'd clean it. And you'd see them looking, and you could see them planning almost. And then all of a sudden they'd walk away as I'd break the thought form down about stealing. But anyway, there's things like that when you're in crowds. In crowds, you need to have that aura down and you need to be grounded or you'll be picking up the people's emotion. I mean, when you go to, if you go, I'm trying to think what's coming up. There's a big football Or is that gone? I think it might have gone. But anyway, when you're in a crowd, people are very excited and their energy levels go, and we're sitting in seats where everyone's close. So you could be picking up a thought form from somebody 3 or 4 seats away as it moves through. If someone's very powerful, some people are really powerful thinkers, amazing actually. And it's like a matter of when you go into a crowded store, a crowded event, just breathe, pull your aura in, ground it down through your feet. It's not about just shrinking it. It's about grounding it into your feet so you're standing strong. So your energy is strong, you are strong, that you can go and do all the different things that you want to do. And if you're not sure, just kind of run your hands sort of, it doesn't have to look affected, but just kind of guide your hands down and make sure everything is clean and clear and not too far out. That's in crowds. If there's just you and the world, it's not so bad, but it'll help. So groundedness, you can have lots of different exercises, and I'm sure there's lots around, but I used to just find making sure my body was, if I was sitting, because in classes, that's what you tended to do. And then you would feel the energy, is it in my bottom? And then running it down my legs into the feet, the bottom parts of the feet, that chakra there, and down into the ground. And you can feel yourself come back into your body, so your eyes are in your eyes. That's your key. Am I looking at the world through my eyes? I don't always look through my world in my eyes because I'm a bit of a dreamer, but if I have to, man, I'm there, because I've had so experience of getting in. When you teach classes, when you have clients, when you do all that, you got to be present. And you can't be in there, you can't take on their stuff. You're looking at it, but you can't take it on because you got to go on with your life. So those of you that work with people, especially those of you that work in kind of massage things, where it's very easy to take on the other person's energy, then you make sure that you always clean that out one way or the other. Have your method of, maybe a lot of people wash their hands or they do something after they've done that. But also make sure that you just take a few seconds to sort of rake off anything else that you picked up body-wise. Because remember, your chakras are there doing their job, but you want to make sure your energy is contained and clean for you. And then when you get in harm, you can spread it out if you want. But it's like knowing when you go into a crowd, you've got to, I don't want to say protect yourself, because I find that that's a little, everyone gets into protecting things. It's about maintaining your integrity, maintaining the sense of who you are and what you are, and being aware of the energy that consistently comes on down and through. And so that you're grounded. Like my feet right now, I can feel my feet really strongly on the floor. And I'm going, yeah. And my bottom in my chair, my eyes in my eyes. So you can run yourself down in a way to see, does that feel like I'm all there? So I'm a compacted unit. And then, because when you get upset, the emotions take over. And if you know how to ground, you can get the mental, I was going to talk about that this morning. The mental, you got a mental and you got emotional bodies. You think and you feel. And when I'm doing the transformation work for people, one of the elements that we look at is, are the mind and the body balanced? Do they work together or not? Because if they're not, you're pulled. You may be too emotional in a sense, or maybe too logical. We want balance. We want them working, all the systems working all together, many systems that we have. Anyway, I think that's all. If you guys have another question there, then thank you, Karen and Karen Lee, for hanging in and switching and waiting for me to come back on again. That was about the fourth time, by the way, trying to get on. Any other questions? Just put them in because I've got 2 seconds more. I really want to thank you for being here. It's always nice to know I have somebody listening or somebody wanting to know. I thank you for your thanks, and I'm going to ring off, and you have a great day. Enjoy. It's going to be hot. Thanks, Karen. Glad you enjoyed it. Yeah, I just came to me this when I was thinking about what am I going to talk about, because every Wednesday I get, what am I going to talk about today? And I realized I hadn't done anything about grounding, so we need to be clear on that. Anyway, have a great day. I'll be back on Sunday morning for Sunday Thought. I have my voice back now. Last Wednesday I did not have that. Thanks, Karen Lee. And of course, Monday, mental mind treatments. Bye for now.